What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Nothing too major this week with the news. You know, everybody's still going on about the Wuhan virus and you know, how it's becoming a mess, blah, blah, blah. I think it is a little crazy how these retarded liberals and Democrats, you know, they're blaming Trump and calling it the Trump virus and blah blah blah, saying that, you know, it's his fault for it getting in here, he didn't do anything, blah blah blah, when China had it, when in fact that's completely not true. The fact is that Trump, you know, China first tried to cover it up. And then it got out of control over there, so they had to tell the world about it. So, this is their fault to begin with. The reason why it got out. China's the main person to blame. However, as far as it getting into the U.S., that's a whole different story. Look up your facts. Okay, Trump, way back when, you know, this was getting to be known, China finally let it out there by, you know, they had a problem. Trump told, you know, these liberal democratic states like New York and California, hey, if people are traveling from the U.S. and they're coming home, do not let them into the country. Stop them, quarantine them, and keep them from coming over. That's what he did about the whole story with the cruise ships. He was doing the same thing with them. He's like, don't let them in. You know, let them deal with it over there. You know. But the Democrats said, no, we're going to let them in. We're not even going to test them. We're not going to quarantine them. We're just going to push them back out into the general population. And guess what? That's what they did. And then it spread like wildfire. So, you can blame whoever you want. The people responsible are the Democrats in the liberal states, like New York and California. You know, it really shocks me that there's people that are praising the governor of New York when he's the one who let them in. He caused this pandemic. Ugh. And then, on top of that, you know, people took in the context of what Trump said about, you know, there might have to be a quarantine or whatever, and then freaking everybody went nuts and started freaking buying everything up because the media, you know, made it like he was actually going to put a lockdown on everybody. It's just crazy. Stop blaming Trump. It's not Trump's fault. It's the Democrats' fault. And you retard liberals are dumb enough to have, you know, call in the Democrat leaders, you know, they're stupid. And you people are the ones that allowed them in there. So it's your fault and it's their fault. Plain and simple. Grow up, stop acting like babies, and learn the facts. Ugh, so tired of that. Moving on. Here's another problem I have. Yahoo. If you've seen any of my past videos, you know how I feel about Yahoo. Now, I go on there almost every day to check what the Yahoo writers are writing about, because they're so biased. You know, like they have like 100 articles about Trump and how terrible he is and blah 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 blah, you know, all the time. I would say 90% of any type of news article you read off of Yahoo is a flat out lie. It's BS. They may sprinkle a little truth on top, but the rest of it, 90% of the article is BS. It's misleading and false information. I mean, come on. They get some of their sources from New York Times and HuffPost. What do you expect? The HuffPost is the worst of the worst. It's an opinionated article site, and they're extremely far left. And Yahoo's just pretty much followed right after them. All the Yahoo writers are very opinionated and very far left. They're very biased. Anyways, them and like other media outlets like CBS, NBC, whatever, they're all MSNBC, CNN. They're all really bad, and they've been caught multiple times lying to the people. So nobody trusts them anymore. I go on Yahoo to see what kind of BS they're trying to spread, you know, every other day, you know, just to see what kind of BS they're trying to spread. But they're very misleading with this Wuhan virus. They're telling you a bunch of crap that is not true. I suggest you go look up your own facts. Don't rely on a lot of media outlets because they're false. One thing I saw that was ridiculous was the girl who freaking, licked the toilet seat on the airplane because she wasn't getting enough attention, she said, on her social media. Like, really? Fucking you attention whore bitch, give me a break. It's people like this. She started this whole coronavirus or Wuhan virus challenge, whatever it's called, on TikTok. And like, people are doing some stupid shit, just like the people doing the spring break thing, they're going out there and getting people sick and they don't care. You got people going and doing pranks, coughing on people and crap, like at a store or some shit. They had caught one guy. He was going around licking products at a Walmart on the shelves, just licking them. Just stupid shit. These people are fucking retarded. You gotta be a damn fucking idiot. You gotta have a brain the size of a dog. Or not even a dog, maybe a fucking worm. I mean, come on. Don't be a fucking retard. Jeez. And then you got the celebrities, claiming, oh, we're just like you, blah, blah, blah. Come on. These celebrities have got money in the bank. Do you really think they're hurting like us? Having to find, other means of income or something. They're living in $1 million mansions and shit, we're brave and we're here for support. We're going to show you pictures of us without makeup. Come on. These fucking retarded celebrities they're being dumb. They're stupid. Don't believe anything any of these celebrities are telling you because they're full of baloney. Anyways, that's all I have to say about the Wuhan virus. It's just gotten ridiculous. Some people are just flat out dumber than shit. I did see a couple of movies that are fairly new releases. I watched one that was probably made just a little whiles back. It's called The Dead Don't Die. Some type of zombie comedy flick. It had a ton of stars in it. That's why I went ahead and started watching it. Had Adam Driver, fucking, you know, the soy boy from the new Star Wars. And then it had Danny Glover and freaking Bill Murray. Now, I went and checked it out, and dude, people, I'm telling you right now, don't waste your time. This movie was absolutely not funny at all. It was really kind of slow and boring. It wasn't even a good zombie flick, you know. It was a piece of shit. 2 thumbs down. Don't waste your time. It's not worth it. Then I watched here just recently Jumanji: The Next Level, the sequel to the last Jumanji, where they got the video game instead of the board game. I don't know whose idea it was to come up with the video game, but I think that's pretty stupid. But anyways, it's not as good as the first one, but it's okay. It's not bad. It had a couple funny moments in it. It had a little bit of action in it. I don't know. I just didn't feel it came out as strong as the first one did. You know, most sequels, that usually happens with most sequels. But it was okay. It wasn't bad. It's worth a watch. There was no, you know, political agenda crap thrown in there. You know, so go ahead, check it out. It's not bad. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's a pretty good movie. Decent movie. And then the last thing I want to talk about. I forced myself to actually make it through the whole first season of Picard, Star Trek Picard. This is just like STD. This was basically a big FU to all the Star Trek fans. The ones who actually made it a huge franchise and made it popular. It was a big FU. They're literally trying to get rid of all the fans of this franchise. And they're going to go hard. They're going to beat the ground hard for this. They're going to go down so hard. Picard is basically belittled and chastised by every female on the show constantly. It's like he can't do anything right. And he's changed his character so much. You know, he's a captain and then an admiral of a starship, you know. He's used to being in command, you know. He's the boss. But no, they make him look like this pathetic, weak old man, you know. Like he's not worth crap, you know. It's retarded. The black woman, she's like a druggie, alcoholic, you know, just can't get her shit together. So she's all the time, you know, going through episodes constantly throughout the whole entire season. The woman who's supposed to be the doctor's lover or whatever, who comes and joins them, who helped build the synths or whatever, she's so annoying. She whines and complains like a little baby throughout the entire season. Then you got Romulans who know how to speak Irish and English. You know, like an English, a British person, you know. Which is ridiculous. It's dumb. You know, come on. And then, you know, the Romulans, they're not supposed to speak like heavy accents and crap like that. And then the Soji, don't even get me started on Soji. Worst character in the whole group. Makes no sense for her to be there. Apparently, her and her twin sister are the only ones that, you know, so-called Maddox or whatever his name is, made almost completely like human-like, you know, whatever. Because once they get to the plant with all the other synths, they all, you know, have gold skin and gold eyes or whatever, like, kind of like Data, sort of. A little bit different. But, you know, it's just ridiculous. And then they bring out, you know, Soong supposedly created a clone of himself. And people were trying to say, well, he's the, you know, he can't be in there because he's an android. Well, he's not really an android. He's a clone of Dr. Soong. So, but Data and the other robots are calling him like Data's brother or whatever. You know, it's just, it got ridiculous. It was dumb. The only character that I found interesting was the captain of the ship, who had all the hollow projections, you know, of himself, you know. I thought that was kind of interesting, the way they split up his personalities like that or whatever. It was a good take on that. Other than that, the entire show, the story is complete trash. It sucks. I don't like my Star Trek where it's, you know, a continuation, like it's been split up, a movie that's been split up into several parts. I don't like Star Trek like that. Even though Star Trek always had a base arc story or theme or whatever that was going on throughout the entire season and then some, every episode was kind of like its own story. And they didn't do that with this. It's literally a serial, you know, it just keeps going on and on and on. I don't like that. But anyways, yeah, Picard's trash. I'll be surprised if it does another season, but it wouldn't surprise me actually at all, honestly, because STD is super garbage. And it's gone on for like 3 seasons now, so we'll see if it gets another season. It really wouldn't surprise me if they went ahead and pushed it anyway. Nobody likes JJ Kurtzman fucking timeline. They're fucking idiots. They're the worst writers and directors ever. Give me a break. Get rid of that show, please. I'll just stick to Orville. It's at least Star Trek. Closer to Star Trek than any of the new crap they're putting out. Anyways, that's all I have for you on the news. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, movie holics. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. The first one, well, first of all, we're back to Fantasy Week. I think we just did, last week was Action Week. So now we're back to Fantasy Week. We rolled around back to Fantasy Week. The first one you might have heard of. I'm not sure. It wasn't like super popular at the time. It didn't blow up or anything like that. It was done in 1997. It only made about 22 million worldwide, so it didn't really do all that great. It was okay. It really didn't really do all that well. It was called The Borrowers. And this starred John Goodman and Mark Williams. It had a mix of like British actors and American actors, and it was done over in Britain. And it's Britain done in like, I think, I'm gonna say like around the 1940s, somewhere around there. Anyways, it's about like this group of little people, and when I mean little people, I'm talking about like an inch tall little people that live in the walls and in the floors and blah blah blah, you know. And I think they took this off an old television cartoon called The Littles. I don't know if any of you remember that show or cartoon. But anyways, The Borrowers was basically about, you know, these little inch people living in this particular home. The boy of the family, they're, you know, you have a husband and wife, and then this little boy. He captures one of them, and then he explains what's going on to the little person, and then the little person goes and tells her family what's going on. So they decide that the bank, which John Goodman controls, is taking over the house, and he's telling these people, this family, that they got to move out of the house. Well, what he's actually doing is he knows there's a will inside the house from this couple's aunt that owned the house. He wants to get him out. He wants to take the will, find the will, which is hidden in a safe in the house. He wants to take the will and get rid of it so he can construct this big mall there on top of the house and the surrounding houses, neighborhood. Well, anyways, what ends up happening is, you know, they get in a few tussles. The boy's trying to help the little family, you know, that lives in the walls and stuff. And they're trying to help them get this deed back from John Goodman throughout most of the movies so that they can keep the house and they can stay where they're at. You know, eventually at the end you find out there's thousands of these little people all across London living in people's houses and not living in people's houses. Which, you know, whatever. But it was more of like a kid's comedy. You know, the family, they get their deed back, they save the house, yada yada. It's a good show. It wasn't bad for what it was. It wasn't really real funny. There were some parts in there with John Goodman. John Goodman's a great actor, so he was kind of funny in some of the parts, but I don't know. It was alright. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't too bad. Especially if you like kids fantasy kind of stuff, you know. I give it 2 thumbs up because it was pretty good with acting and stuff like that too. So, and not a bad story. It wasn't a horrible story, you know, for fantasy. So, yeah, not a bad movie. Check it out if you like that kind of whimsical fantasy stuff. Moving on to your next movie review. Some of you might have heard this one too. I know quite a few people that have seen this, but I don't know how many have. I'm a big fan of this movie. It's more historical type fantasy than, you know, fictional story than it is, you know, like high fantasy or whatever. This movie was done in 1999 and it's called The 13th Warrior, which stars Antonio Banderas and Maria Bonneville. Basically, the whole story is Antonio Banderas. So hard to say his name sometimes for some reason. I'm getting tongue-tied saying his first name. He gets banished from his kingdom, where he lives, somewhere in the Middle East, an Arabian place, because the queen loves him. The king don't like it, so he gets rid of him. He knows that they love each other, so the king gets rid of him. He turns him into an ambassador and tells him to go learn about essentially the Vikings. They call them Northmen, but they're Vikings. Anyway, he tells him, go learn, you're ambassador now, blah, blah, blah. You're banished forever from here. So anyways, Antonio Banderas, he goes, to meet them, and a messenger comes, a little boy, and he tells him that something's going on in one of these kingdoms of the Northmen, and asks for help. So a witch or soothsayer or whatever you want to call her, she throws the bones and then picks 13 warriors to go help this kingdom or whatever, this messenger help his king or whatever. Antonio Banderas, he ends up being chosen as the 13th warrior because the bone supposedly says one of them is not a Northman. One of the warriors that should be chosen should not be a Northman. So he ends up going with him. Now, at first, he doesn't know their language. But every time they camp or whatever, he so slowly picks up on their language and starts learning their language by just watching and listening to them. So eventually, for the first 10, 15 minutes or whatever, it's him trying to learn their language, and he figures it out. So the rest of the movie, of course, he knows their language and everybody can understand everybody. When they get back to the kingdom, or the king that's having trouble, at first they don't want to talk about what's causing the trouble, but eventually he finds out. I forget what they call them. They call them something. These people that are attacking him, but they all think they're like some type of predatory beast or whatever, like demons in the night kind of crap. When they find out they're actually just men who are dressed up with animal clothing or whatever, made out from animal fur and bear claws or whatever. Basically bears. They think they're bears. They're like a bear clan. They figure out where they're at. They go in and they kill the queen of the tribe in these caves. This big adventure where they have to go into the cave and kill the queen. But then they got to fight the main leader, the warrior who's causing all the trouble, that's fighting them all the time. They eventually kill him, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. The main Viking leader or whatever, he dies because he gets poisoned by the queen before he gets out of there. But he manages to slay the leader of the tribe as well, the warrior. But anyways, that's pretty much the end of the movie, and Antonio Banderas, he goes back home and writes about it. his adventure. This is actually a really good movie. It's one of my favorites. Definitely give it a watch. 2 thumbs up for sure. If you like, action and more realistic, not too fantasy wise, more historical kind of context. I mean, it's a fictional story, but like I said, it's done more realistically, like, what could actually happen. It is a really, really good movie. The acting was really good. Has some great actors in it. I had some comedy in there as well. It wasn't all just drama, and it wasn't just, a bunch of fighting or whatever. I highly suggest this movie. If you like really good movies, definitely 2 thumbs up for sure. Anyways, that's all I have for your reviews this week. Give me suggestions in the comments down below if you have any. If you can suggest any type of movies you'd like me to review, some gems that I might have missed from the past, that are actually really decent movies. I like trying and watch things that I most generally have not heard of or seen before. If you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll try to review them as soon as possible. So that's all I have for you this week. Let me know what you think about this whole Wuhan virus crap going on. Let me know what you think about Yahoo and HuffPost and all the crap they're trying to throw out. The very misleading information, misdirecting everything. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about Picard and the new Star Trek show Picard. Do you like it or you dislike it? Or why do you dislike it? Why do you like it? Yeah, let me know all that stuff down in the comments below. Anyways, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.